Hello, Happy New Year, and welcome to Psychology Demystified. So it's 2021. If you're like me, you set absolutely no resolutions whatsoever. Some people set 1, 2, 3, maybe 5, maybe 10 resolutions. If you're one of these people who set resolutions, this is definitely for you. According to statistics and some surveys, it appears as though about 74% of people set New Year's resolutions this year more than any other year, because last year, 2020, is one that a lot of us just want to forget. The two top resolutions set by most people are eating better and exercising more. In the top 10 this year, other resolutions that have been set by people are spending more time with friends and family, spending less time on social media. Some people said that they would quit smoking because a lot started happening in 2020. Ideally, when people set resolutions, they know in their heart of hearts that they're going to succeed. Despite everyone's pure intentions for achieving their New Year's goals, surprise, surprise, a lot of people actually give up. And there is actually a date that came up when people actually seemed to just quit their goals. And this seemed to be January 19th. I don't know why January 19th, but there was a survey that was done, or research done, using an app that people downloaded called the Strava app. This app was meant to track people's fitness and health goals. And what happened is that 98 million users downloaded this app. But what happened is that by January 19th, a very large number of people had actually stopped using the app, and a lot of people had actually deleted the app. Not because the app was not working, but because the fitness goals and the health goals had gone out the window. So why are so many people quitting their goals? They're not quitting their goals because of a lack of commitment. And that's something that I want to remove from the table completely. It has nothing to do with a lack of commitment. It also has nothing to do with a lack of willpower. That's not why people give up. There are some things that stand in your way when you set goals that stop you from achieving them. These things that stand in your way, I'm going to call traps. So there are 4 common traps that people fall into that stop them from achieving their goals and actually quitting them altogether. As I talk about these 4 traps, I'm also going to talk about how to avoid these traps that stand in the way of you achieving your New Year's goals and resolutions. Trap number 1. We set goals and resolutions that overwhelm us. Given that we wait all year to set our goals, sometimes, and more so this year, we set our goals a little too high. When you make your goal too high or unrealistic, you undermine your motivation to achieve it. There's a saying that if your dreams don't scare you, if your goals don't scare you, then they're not big enough. So people are inclined to challenge themselves, which is great. Absolutely challenge yourself. But when you're looking at a big goal, go ahead and set it, but set it in a different manner. Meaning, don't think that you're going to achieve that goal all at once. Set the goal, but break it into bite-sized pieces, which means achieve one step of your goal at a time, as opposed to trying to achieve everything at the same time. If you break it into small, manageable chunks, it starts to seem more doable, and in the process, you feel better about yourself because you celebrate the little milestones that allow you to achieve the really big one that you set. Trap number 2, we don't anticipate the obstacles that we're going to meet. As we're working towards achieving our goals, sometimes we don't look at or realize that sometimes there'll be obstacles that are going to stop us in the path to achieving the goal. And this may be true this year more than any other year. If your goal is to go to the gym more this year, you have to remember that some things might not be in your control and some things might be your obstacle. You may join a gym and then discover that it shuts down because, well, COVID. that should not discourage you from achieving the goal. But keep in mind that when you set it, you have to be prepared for meeting blocks that have nothing to do with you. The best way for you not to be demotivated is to plan in advance, just in case something stands in your way, so that you know how to resolve an issue if you happen to encounter it. So as grim as it might sound, hope for the best, but prepare for the worst. And that will allow you to be less frustrated as you enter this new and hopefully better year. Trap number 3. When we engage in our goals, it's an all or nothing train of thought. When a lot of us are setting goals, we're like, I'm going to achieve it or I'm a failure. I'm going to win that race or I'm a wimp. I'm going to accomplish that weight loss goal or I'm hopeless. Some people set it with such strict restrictions on themselves. And because sometimes we're harsher to ourselves than anyone else could be or would be, instead of celebrating that we achieved running a half marathon instead of a whole marathon, we tell ourselves that, why bother? I didn't do it anyway. I didn't achieve what I wanted to do. It was supposed to be a whole marathon or nothing. I give up and I give up. And that's a lot of people have that mentality. If you approach it that way, you will give up even though the finish line is just in front of your nose, because you won't be able to celebrate the fact that you've actually reached halfway, and you won't be able to push yourself and motivate yourself to keep going until you cross that finish line. So set your goals for yourself kindly and celebrate every little step that you take towards achieving it. Trap number 4. When we get off track, we beat ourselves up about it. Some of us have an addiction to sweets. So a goal that I would probably set, which I did not, a goal which I would probably set would be to reduce my sweet intake or to avoid sweets altogether, which is kind of big, to avoid sweets. And in a momentary lapse of reason, I might end up deciding to eat a slice of chocolate cake, which is kind of like a massive sweet. Before I know it, because I didn't manage to avoid sweets the way I had said I was going to, I may then find myself beating myself up about it and saying, I blew it, I'm an idiot, I can't believe this, I can never achieve this. And then, before things are done, I've eaten the whole chocolate cake and out goes the goal. That sounds like a familiar scenario for some of you, doesn't it? But you know what? This kind of self-critical thinking is really not a recipe for success, because all I have done is just be unfair and unnecessarily cruel to myself. If we tell ourselves that we're incompetent, or that we have no willpower, or no self-control, or that we're just stupid for doing what we did, then all we've done is just found a way to quickly conclude that there's no use in trying. The only way to deal with this is to compassionately understand that yes, you are going to make mistakes. Yes, there are going to be some days that you are up, some days you are down, some days you will not achieve that goal, and some days you will be so good at it. If we know that there are going to be ebbs and flows as we work to achieve this goal, not only will we work to be kind to ourselves, because we have to start with that, but we're also going to be more prepared to forgive ourselves and to start all over again. Whenever we have harsh words for ourselves, I'm going to ask you to do one thing. Ask yourself, whatever you're saying to yourself, is it something that you would tell a friend to their face? Every single word. If it's not something that you would tell someone else to their face, then quit it. Stop telling it to yourself. It's also a good time to self-reflect and ask yourself if you're busy setting unrealistic standards for you while setting realistic standards and achievable standards for everyone else. And if you are, why? New Year's resolutions are not about being perfect. They are simply about making a commitment to something that you care about, something that you have deemed important, something that might enhance your life, and something that brings you happiness, some joy, some source of fulfillment, just so you can improve your little corner of the world. And that's all it is. So if you did not set a resolution, there's nothing wrong with that. But if you did, please be kind to yourself first. Thank you so much for watching. Happy New Year once again. And as you go into this new year, please remember to be kind because you don't know what someone else is going through. And to you, hugs and kindness always. Bye.